Guys, it's Julia, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a book review on Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. This is a story about a guy named Will Graham, and he is basically done with the whole FBI. They've caught Hannibal. All this stuff has happened previous to this book, and this is just about, like, this is the first book in the series, but this is about these killings going on, and these families, two families were killed, and they obviously were connected in some way. And Crawford gets Will to come back to the FBI to help him with this case, and Will ends up going to see Hannibal and to asking for advice, and it kind of just involves all this stuff. And I really want to pick this up because I've been watching the TV show, and the Hannibal TV show is absolutely incredible. I love it so much. It's really, really good. But I wanted to pick up the book because of that, and I could definitely, the whole time I was really comparing similarities and differences between like characters and everything, and the storyline for Hannibal is a bit different because it's them trying to catch Hannibal and like about Will Graham going like kind of in the FBI, but this is like after they've caught him, which is not a spoiler because it says on the back and it is the first book. And I did have a couple rough patches with it. In the middle kind of section, it just dragged a bit, and I was just kind of getting bored, and it was just kind of the same stuff, and I just didn't appreciate like the middle, and like some of it was really, really boring. I'm not gonna lie, it dragged a bit at points, and I was just, I wasn't feeling it at some points. And I really enjoyed seeing our characters again and like comparing them. Like Freddie Lowndes, in the book, he's a male, TV show, female. In the book, Dr. Bloom's a male, and the TV show, female. I just like comparing things and seeing Crawford, Will Graham and his relationships now and the way he acts now. And it's just, I wanted a bit more of Hannibal in this too, considering it's like the terrifying classic that introduced Hannibal Lecter. Like I wanted more of Hannibal. Like he wasn't in it as much as you would think he would be in it, and I just wanted a bit more of him in it personally. This book is so great at times because the quotes, like the deep quotes in the TV show, are the exact same lines in the book, and when I found them I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna take that off. Like I ticked a lot of things off, and I did enjoy parts of my time reading this. Definitely some parts, again, it dragged a bit for me, but I am happy I read this. It gave me more background on these characters as well, and it just gave me some more insight, and some things that kind of end up happening in part of the TV show kind of reflect on this a little bit. So it's really interesting how they connected it to the books and everything. They're not like based on the books, but it's just really interesting how they how they wired the characters together and how that all worked out. And seeing everybody was so great. And the last like 100 pages were so good and action-packed, and I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I feel like the whole time I just wanted this to be a Hannibal, Will Graham, deep murder mystery, deep thriller. And at times I should have just read it for what it was, and it was a mystery thriller, and that had Will Graham and Hannibal and all these guys in it, but it wasn't based on them. And that's kind of what I was looking for. For the actual murder, they called him the Tooth Fairy, and then throughout it they call him the Dragon. But it's just, this guy was so insanely twisted. This guy and all the things that happen to him and all the things he does, it's just, it was really crazy, and I just really... But I did end up giving this book a 3.25 stars. That is not a bad rating for me. It wasn't a bad 3.25. It was like a good 3.25. I couldn't picture myself giving it anything above a 4. I couldn't picture myself giving it a 4 or anything higher, but I could say between a 3 and a 3.75. I'm leaning more toward a 3.5 than a 3.25 right now, but it's in that range. It's not a 4-star and it's not a 3-star. It's like in the middle, somewhere in there. And I would suggest this book if you are a fan of the TV shows or the movies or anything like that. If you are just, you don't know anything about these characters and you just want to dive into the book, I would say you might be a little bit confused, or you might just not know the characters as well, because I can't really say for sure, but I can say I enjoyed it, but like parts dragged. Okay, but overall I can say I enjoyed it, and this was an interesting crime thriller mystery thing. And sorry for my position change, but I do want to share a couple quotes from the book. And yes, so I'm going to be sharing those with you guys. It's hard to keep anything, isn't it? Rare to get it, hard to keep it. This is a damn slippery planet. Fear comes with imagination. It's a penalty. It's the price of imagination. Killing somebody, even if you have to do it, it feels that bad. Really, it's one of the ugliest things in the world. My review on Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. I do hope you guys enjoyed this review and maybe it motivated you to pick it up or whatever, but it is a pretty decent book overall. So I'll see you guys soon with a new video. Thank you for watching again. Bye!